Dejonai Carrington and Marina Mabrey have just experienced a
steal. Carrington takes it all the way.
Is Kennedy Carter.
But let's take a step back, because this wasn't just a routine foul, it was poetic justice unfolding on the hardwood. What happened next wasn't merely physical, it was karma paying a long overdue visit. This was the moment accountability found Dejonai Carrington and Marina Mabrey for their earlier actions against Caitlin Clark. Flashback to Game 1 of the first-round playoff clash between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. Just 90 seconds into the contest, Carrington struck Clark squarely in the eye, a blatant foul that left the rookie phenom crumpled in pain on the floor. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't accidental, it was as clear as daylight. Carrington's hand connected directly with Clark's face.
With no whistle. Now there's nothing in
What followed was even more disturbing. Carrington, showing a startling lack of sportsmanship, laughed off the incident. She exchanged a moment of mockery with teammate Marina Mabrey, trivializing Clark's pain as though it were nothing more than a private joke. Nor was this an isolated incident. Weeks later, Carrington once again crossed the line, this time off the court. During an Instagram live session with her girlfriend and Indiana Fever teammate Alyssa Smith, Carrington mockingly reenacted.
Ow! You poked me in the eye.
Perhaps Carrington meant it playfully, but for Caitlin Clark's fans, it felt like a metaphorical slap in the face. It served as a stark reminder that the disrespect shown on the court wasn't incidental, it was deliberate. And just as tension simmered, Marina Mabrey escalated matters further. Mere days after Carrington's foul, Mabrey
touches the basketball. That's what Burton did there. All over Caitlin.
The severity of the moment was unmistakable, even the still images told the story. The contact was so egregious that the commentator couldn't stay quiet. "That's a foul," they declared, stunned that the officials overlooked what was clearly a flagrant infraction. Outrage erupted across social media, with fans decrying the lack of accountability. Many pointed out that had this occurred in the NBA, it would have been called a flagrant foul without hesitation. But as the old saying goes, what goes around, comes around. Fast forward to Game 2 of the semifinals. Dejonai Carrington was driving hard to the basket, eyes on the rim, seemingly poised to finish.
The steal. Carrington takes it all the way.
It was a punishing blow, so forceful that the crowd collectively gasped, and for a fleeting moment, the arena fell into a stunned silence. Carrington, the very player who had once mocked Caitlin Clark with such casual cruelty, now lay on the hardwood, reeling from the kind of foul she once dished out. Justice, it seemed, had finally caught up, but the reckoning wasn't over. Just minutes later, her counterpart, Marina Mabrey, Carrington's on-court ally and off-court accomplice in ridicule, found herself at the mercy of fate. While defending Kayla McBride, she took an elbow flush in the face, an accidental but painful blow that sent a ripple of discomfort through the stands. Mabrey crumpled to the floor, staying down just long enough for fans to draw the parallel. It was impossible to ignore the irony, instant karma, delivered without ceremony, yet karma still had one more message to send. In a subsequent matchup, Mabrey was once again at the center.
Kennedy Carter. Philip Bayer.
Mabrey stayed down, visibly rattled, as Chindy Carter was hit with a flagrant foul for the smack that sent her crashing. But for Caitlin Clark fans, it was more than just another hard play, it was a moment of long-awaited redemption. Mabrey, who had escaped punishment for her earlier blow to Clark, was now finally facing consequences. It's one thing to see a player make a mistake, it's another to watch them walk away without accountability. That's what made these moments resonate. They weren't just about physical fouls. They were about justice. Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom who had endured cheap shots and targeted plays throughout the season, was no longer in the playoffs. But her presence, her impact, still echoed across the court. Carrington and Mabrey may have believed they dodged the spotlight of criticism, but as the postseason unfolded, it became clear the basketball gods were keeping score. Now, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect, because, honestly, how could we not? Despite the Indiana Fever's early playoff exit, Clark made seismic waves in her rookie. Just a top draft pick, she was a lightning rod for excitement, the most electrifying rookie the WNBA had seen in years. Fans couldn't look away. Her final game drew a staggering 2.5 million viewers, proof that she had turned WNBA broadcasts into must-see TV. But then, just like that, the Fever were gone. Cue the sad trombone. Without Clark, The playoffs lost something: energy, momentum, anticipation. The buzz quieted. It was like ordering a burger only to realize someone forgot the patty. Sure, it's still a meal, but is it satisfying? Not quite. The numbers reflected that. Game 1 of the WNBA Finals between the Minnesota Lynx and New York Liberty pulled in a respectable 1.1 million viewers, a solid figure by any measure, but noticeably down from the Clark-fueled frenzy of weeks prior. There's little doubt, if Clark and the Fever had advanced, those numbers would have soared. That Caitlin Clark effect is real.